What's up, guys? Welcome back to Match Day. Welcome back on Match Day. We play Inter obviously later tonight, and it's probably it is the biggest game, not probably, of the last 4 seasons. It's in my opinion, if we lose, it's kind of sticky because that for me would make it almost impossible to win it unless Inter actually really collapse compared to what they've been doing now, because they've been very dominant now, and it doesn't look like they're gonna stop and drop an excessive amount of points for us to overcome that. So it's a massive game, it's big. It's really big. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look into Inter a little bit, maybe compare it with us a little bit, but I'm gonna focus more on Inter. I'm gonna do my preview a bit in it, and I'm gonna go into the lineups as well. Keep in mind, I'm recording it before Allegri's presser, so do not spam the comments with, "Oh, he's injured, he cannot play." I don't know. At this moment in time, everybody is fit, so I'm gonna base everything on that. Before we really get into it, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that bell notification, and let's push to at least 70 likes. So hit that like button now, and let's jump straight into the video. So Inter, top of the league with a game in hand. That's what is at stake now. I think before the Empoli game, it looked more, it looked more, it looked more rosy. It looked more. Excuse me. It looked more easy, or like it looked more. Yeah, it looked more easy for us to overcome certain obstacles. We're 1 point behind now, and they have a game in hand. It's at home against Atalanta, but you know what could happen. Like that 1 point can become seven extremely quickly, like really quickly, because I think they play Atalanta in a couple of weeks. So you can end up February with 7 points behind really quickly without any shock in terms of like how did this happen. Well, it happened um, because you didn't beat Inter at home. That's away, and you drop points against Empoli, and they won the game in hand. So that's how it can happen. So that's why this show this that's why this game is extremely important, And if you just look at Inter compared to the rest of the league, maybe it's not a fair comparison, but they're dominant. They're top of the league for a good reason. They're up there because they win games. And you can see that the goals, like compared to the league, obviously it's the average, but the long balls I find interesting. They're not like, they keep the ball very well. Like they really do. They really do. And that's, I don't know if that can play in our advantage. Like if you're focused, which we were in that first game, besides at one moment we conceded that goal, that can play in your advantage. If you're not focused, they will play you apart very slowly, and they will kill you just off. It's just a matter of time. It is not an amount of excessive pressure. It's just they keep the ball and they accelerate and they will put it away. That's what they do basically. Now, if you compare it to us, um, yeah, they score more goals. Like we kind of concede. Like the conceding goals is kind of the same. We concede less shots on target. That's maybe a positive. Like the way we play. The long balls, it's close. We play more long balls, but that's also shouldn't be a shock as well. But all the rest, like crosses, I was kind of surprised. I mean, not so, because it's not that Costa is putting a lot of crosses in this season. Because a cross is a cross when it actually passes his first man. But the shots and the possession is massive, man. The possession is big time, and I know we are a team who hands possession to opponents. However, they claim it from opponents, and they claim it by keeping the ball. I don't think it's by putting an amount of extreme pressure to win it back. When they have the ball, they just keep it. They keep it very well, and that's what they're good at. That's what they're actually extremely good at, if you are being completely honest. And up top, they're firing. They're just firing up top. If you look at Lautaro, 21 goal involvements this season in Serie A. And same to Ram, new to the league, 15. Çalhanoğlu, yes, I know he scored like 7 pens, I think. Still, you need to put him away 12. Like, if you look at that, that's insane, especially the first two. Thuram, came into the new league, and 15 goal involvements in his first year. That's just That's crazy, man. Like that's very good. You need to call it how it is, and they just put the chances away. They do create a lot of chances, and they are very, very clinical with those chances. And we might, we were not. We're kind of on track now, but still, like they scored 15 goals in Syria, we scored 36, and like Atalanta scored more goals than us. Milan scored more goals than us. Roma only one goal less than us. Like that's where like there's a big gap between us in that regards, and you can say, oh, but they scored 7 pens, or I don't know, whatever. Like they create a lot of chances. I don't know how many times people watch Inter. Like it's not that I watch Inter every single week, but I think we all watch kind of a handful of games of Inter this season, including the one at the stadium. And like the stats, they don't lie. They kind of match the eye test. That's just what it is at this moment in time. Um, on the season, yeah, man, like it's very similar to us, with the wins and the defeats. It is very similar to us. Conceding goals, like it's all kind of the same. Like the numbers are the same, in just pure, how do you call it, like standard numbers. But if you look deeper into it, in possession and goals and all those things, and you might say, it doesn't matter, winning is winning. Winning is winning, but they win in a more easy way. That's a different, and that could be, or that should be actually the difference in these big games, because they have something to fall on. Like if it doesn't go our way, how can we change up the style? We can, like, we do not have anything real to fall on. It's keep it close and put away the chances we have. With Inter, they are capable of creating multiple chances a game. We still ain't. We are not capable of creating multiple chances of game. And I know we scored the last couple of weeks, but even the goals we scored, for example, against Lecce, we didn't outplay teams. That's not what we do. That's not our ammo. That's not the kind of team we are. And in these big games, that worries me. Away from home, at home, you can deal with it, in my opinion. Away from home, when things are not going your way and you don't have the fans back, you don't have the good environment, it's different to just switch it up and be like, okay, now we're gonna play expansive football or whatever. We're gonna pressure the opponents. We're not that type of team. We're not, absolutely not that type of team. Yeah, on the season, I mean, 17-1, 3 draws, 1 L. Yeah, we won 16 and drew 5 games, but they have a game in hand. So it's kind of similar. Like everybody knows how it's going. That's why this is a big game. The interesting thing is, look at the point tally compared to the previous season. They are up, like they were up even compared to the one to when they won the league. And when did they won the league? So last season was Napoli, it was Milan, and then it was Inter. So they have 7 points more than the season in which they won the title. They are on. Yeah, forget about the 28 points because they were kind of in a banter era at that period. However, they're up. Like the points value is up. They're on an insane pace, 11 points. Again, you can say that for us as well, but they're still top, and they are having an extremely good season. I think with Napoli last season, we thought, man, that's impossible. I think Napoli topped it a little bit more. I think they didn't lose to a certain point, but still, like they are an incredible pace. So are we. Like you need to acknowledge that as well. But it's important to know that the type of team we're gonna face is a team that doesn't really lose games. They don't. So yeah, man. This one, total passes. And if you watch my video on the midfield battle, you go check that out. I put that out yesterday. I already spoke about the passing and the difference in style of play, whatever. We're 12th in the league for passing, and they are third in the league. Why are we 12th? Because we give the ball to the opponents. We are okay with opponents who have the ball. Inter, not so much. Also, a lot of those passes Inter are between the midfields. Like they keep hold of the ball in their own half extremely well, and they can accelerate at any given time. And that's what I said early on. focus is needed, because at one point you might think, you know what, we have them. They're not dangerous. They're not doing anything. But if you watch them this season, they can accelerate out of nowhere basically, and it can be in the back of the net really, really quickly. Like they at times when I watch Inter, I was like, this is extremely boring because you're keeping hold of the ball a bit too long, and then it's like boom, 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 and they're in front of goal. I'm like, I got it now. We don't do that. We absolutely don't do that. We keep the ball, but it's not between players. It's at their own feet. If you look at Rabiot and McKennie, they keep hold of the ball way too long at times, and that's not a good thing in my opinion. Chances created or chance creation. Crosses, Inter are second. Now, a cross in this case is a cross that is effective, a cross that made it past his first man. That's why they are also up there, because Di Marco, it's different gravy to Kostic this season. It is, because if you look at the numbers of crosses, the successful crosses, that's what pushes this stat a little bit up. Through balls, we don't do that. we don't have the players for that. It's as simple as that. McKennie, Locatelli plays that deep. Rabiot, they're technically not good enough. Rabiot was at PSG potentially, but at this moment in time, McKennie and Rabiot are technically not good enough to play through balls. And actually, it's a bit sad because when we play with Weah on the wing potentially, or even a junior or Chiesa up top, it is an asset that we should be deploying. But I get that we cannot do that with the current midfield setup. So that's why they're second in that regard, and we 12th. Like that's actually not so good in my opinion. Or like for a team of Juve, you would expect, but I would say that. But then again, if you look at Inter, the way we play, Allegri's style of play, it makes a lot of sense that we're not that type of team, to be honest. Non-pen XG 1/3. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're clinical. We became clinical at this moment in time. XG from set pieces, we're first. I think we discussed that at length this year, that we are dangerous on set pieces, which is good. It's a good weapon, but we should never be exclusively relying on those things. Now, XG from counters, they're first. We're 11. We are atrocious on counterattacks. Like we cannot counter because we do not have the speed in midfield, nor do we have the technical ability in midfield. It stops at that moment in time. The moment McKennie or Rabiot needs to set up an attack on a counter, it's that you can actually put that aside and you can actually look away because it's going nowhere. They temporize, they keep possession a bit too long. They wait until they have the safe pass to make, and it's done. We do not have those players. It's frustrating. It really is, in my opinion, because when you sit deep and you allow teams to have possession and you win that ball back, it needs to go quickly. However, we absolutely stink at that. And Inter, well, they are top of the class in that because their midfield is technically better sounded than us. Like, that's just the reality of the matter. Now let's move on to lineups. Again, I'm doing this before the presser, so I don't know about injuries. As of now, everybody is fit, or like everybody can be called up, so that's what we're gonna go off. Obviously, in goal, it's Chesney. I'm gonna do what I think Allegri is gonna do. By the way, it's Danilo over here. We have Bremer over here, and we have Gatti. I think he's gonna play Gatti over here as well. Then in midfield, obviously you have Locatelli, because he's not moving. Rabiot, trained basically all week. He's starting. I think he's starting. There's no chance Allegri's going to leave him out in this big game. And now there are questions. Is McKennie going to play on the wing and all those things? McKennie's going to play midfield. I don't think he's going to do something crazy. I saw that, maybe Weah can play and Cambiasso can play on Kostic's side. I need to see that before I will ever believe that. So Cambiasso on the right-hand side with Kostic on the left-hand side. I don't think he's going to make any changes in that regard. Now the big one is not Vlahovic, because Vlahovic is going to start. It's Chiesa's back in training, and what are you going to do? Are you going to play Chiesa? I will play Yildiz. And this is not to say that Yildiz should be starting every game. Chiesa, he's only back in training since Tuesday. He's training with something around his knees. Is he 100% fit to play full intensity in a big game? If he's not fully fit, I'd rather have him coming off the bench for the last 30 minutes. I'm just saying a number here, when maybe the focus is a bit less, the game is a bit different vibe, and you have somebody who's fresh and can have a clear cut impact. I'd rather start with a player who's 100% fit, because you need to keep the game close. I don't think you can do that with players who are not 100% fit. And I'll be I will actually be surprised if he plays Chiesa. I will come on and will be like, I did not expect that. I didn't expect that if he starts Chiesa, because I think it's a big ask. Like fitness wise, will he hold up to it? I'm not so sure about that. Like I'm worried about that as well. To risk it and lose him for a longer period of time. So I will play Yildiz, and I actually think he's gonna pick Yildiz as well. And to be honest, Yildiz deserves to start, and that does not mean he's better than Chiesa. And people are gonna say, "Oh, now you're gonna sell Chiesa." Like, I've never said those things. Just on the last couple of weeks and Chiesa's fitness, you need to take everything into consideration. Yildiz, and we should be trusting Yildiz as well. Like, it should not be a case where you're like, "Oh my god, he's gonna start Yildiz." I think he will hold up to it. I think he will be perfectly fine. I think he's good enough to just do his own thing and play his game. From minute one till Allegri subs him. So I will play Yildiz because I'm not sure Chiesa's 100%. He can be 100%, and I also believe he is gonna play Chiesa. Now, as we always do, prediction wise, I'm gonna first go uh, with my ratings. I need to win this game. If we get we need to have. It's a big ask. It is a big ask, but if we are gonna win that game, Chesney is gonna need to make those incredible saves, because we're gonna give away a few chances here and there at least, because it's just gonna happen. At the back, they need to have an extremely solid game. You can have an extremely solid game and still give up a chance here and there. At that point, it's up to Chesney to bail out your defense, because you're playing a good team. You're just gonna give up chances. It's just natural. Locatelli needs to have a very solid game. That midfield, like six, is not bad. It's just you're not gonna get overrun. You're just gonna get in there and you're not gonna look completely out of place. And Locatelli needs to spearhead that as well. Also, Rabiot cannot be 100% fit, but there's no chance he's gonna bench him. Kostic, just don't do anything bad. Just play your game, even if it's simple, whatever. Cambiasso, I need you to have a big game. I really need you to have a big game defensively, but especially going forward. I need you to make a big difference. And up top, these guys need to do it. For Yildiz, I'm not even looking for a goal for Yildiz. Just keep hold of the ball, play between the lines, even draw those fouls. Give Vlahovic the room to run into, and then Vlahovic, he just needs to keep up his form. Even if he gets that one chance, you need to put it away, buddy. You need to put it away in this. Now is the moment. These are the games. If you get that one chance, and that's the chance to win it, or even tie it late, whatever, that's a chance you need to put away. So there is a lot of pressure on players, but this is it, man. This is what that's playing for Juve. This is the moment. That's what we have been talking about post game. We believe in the title. A lot of people believe in the title. Now it's the time to make a statement. It's now or it's never, in my opinion. Because if you lose that game, it's never, in terms of it's not gonna happen this season, in my opinion. So big time pressure, but it is what it is. This is Juve. That's what you're gonna pay for it. That's the history of the club. So no excuses. You need, in my opinion, I think we need to win that game. My prediction is 1-1. I don't think we're gonna win. I build it up. I don't think we're gonna win. And maybe my feeling says, like, I have that Empoli game in the back of my mind, and the way we play and the way Inter play, my feeling tells me we're actually gonna lose that game, but it cannot be over now. Like, it just can't be. Like, it needs to stay close. as long as possible. So I'm going 1-1. And can I live with that? It depends on the outcome. Like if you go 1-1, you're still just in it, you know. Even with the game in hand, you know, you just keep it at bay for now. If you lose, I think that will be like a morally, like mentally on the players. Excuse me, mentally on the players, it will be tough to overcome, in my opinion. So that's my prediction. That's my preview. Let me know in the comments what you think. Go rewatch the video I made on the midfield, and also go rewatch my preview with Integral Wide with Anthony, and check out what he had to say, or with Alberto. I put that preview out as well, and then I'll see you guys later tonight, hopefully with a good video, you know, that we won and whatever. Hopefully it's not, you know, funeral settings. But that's it for me for now. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, and I'll see you guys later tonight. Ciao.